Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where I talk everything from movies to video games, Funko Pops to comics, pretty much anything pop culture. And today I'm talking wrestling, and to be exact, I'm talking about AEW's first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Now, just to give a little backstory, I've been watching wrestling probably from the first weekend I was brought home from the hospital. One of my first memories is watching Hulk Hogan defeat the Iron Sheik. I'd watch NWA, WWF, UWF, AWA. Wrestling was a staple in my household growing up. When WCW and WWF exploded in the late 90s, you couldn't keep me away from a TV set on Monday nights. And if it was the Sunday of a pay-per-view, I'd be at a friend's house where we would have a big gathering to watch the event. But there have been two eras where I completely stopped watching wrestling altogether. The first was the early 90s. Both WWF and WCW were just deplorable to watch. The second era was the PG or John Cena era. No matter how much I'm a fan of wrestling, if I find it uninteresting and the product is not geared to me, I'll find other ways to spend my time. Recently, I got back into watching WWE on a regular, but since WrestleMania, the product has been stagnant. There's been little focus on the W in the name and more emphasis on the E, and the E has not been that entertaining. And not since TNA had a short run on Mondays has there been any challengers to give WWE any real competition. That is, until now. This past weekend I ordered Double or Nothing on BR Live. Paying $50 for a pay-per-view, especially for an unproven product, can be asking a lot. But I really have a hunger for watching professional wrestling again and gave them my support. And I can honestly say I got my money's worth. From a battle royal on the pre-show, to a 6-woman tag team match, several tag team matches, a 4-way women's match, and some amazing single matches, there was no short of action-packed entertainment to be had here. One of the things I really liked was the way they sprinkled in some familiar faces, but let the new talent shine, which is something that's not usually done. We got to see Tommy Dreamer, Billy Gunn, and GLACIER in the Battle Royal. If you haven't seen my GLACIER interview, make sure you check it out. The link is below. But it was getting to see a bunch of up-and-coming talent like Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, MJF, and the winner of the Battle Royal, Hangman Page, that was really great. Now, when the official pay-per-view began at 8 p.m., let's just say it was total non-stop action. Good old JR came out and joined the announcing booth. And even watching at home, I could feel the energy of the crowd through the screen and into my living room. You could see how much the fans were into these matches by their facial reactions and their loud chants. From the kickoff match of the pay-per-view with the SCU versus the Stronghearts, through the mid-card of Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida, Ryo Abe, and Ryu Mizunami, to the main event of Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, to the appearance at the end of AEW's newest acquisition, Jon Moxley, I wasn't just entertained, but I was on the edge of my couch the entire time. In this 6-woman match, the only one I was familiar with was Aja Kong. However, the incredible moves and the wrestling abilities the 5 other ladies put on during this match has made me a fan of all of them. And while we're talking about the ladies, let's talk about what was supposed to be a triple threat match that turned into a fatal 4-way match at the last minute, with the announcement that Awesome Kong would join the party. Now, if this had been another organization, Kong would have probably got the win on her name alone. However, it was Dr. Britt Baker walking away with the win. And while the Doc got the W, it was Kylie Rae that won me over. Alright, now let's talk about the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. Wow! When I think what I want to see in tag team matches, these guys put it on display here. Insanely grueling, fast-paced, and plenty of close falls. Again, another match I can feel the energy of the crowd at the arena in my living room. Now for me, the match of the night was Cody versus his brother Dustin. This was an A+ performance by the brothers. Now they might be brothers, but they fought like rivals. Dustin was so bloody at one point I thought they were just going to end the match. Now here's where All Elite showed that the big boys aren't just here to play, they're here to fight. If you have not seen this match, you've done yourself a disservice as a wrestling fan. I know we're not even halfway through the year, but this could be match of the year. It was that damn good. The main event was Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, and these guys put on an amazing match. Jericho has wrestled all over the world. He's wrestled in what some have referred to as the Big Three, ECW, WCW, and WWF in the 90s. And in 2019, not only can he still main event, but he can put on one incredible show. And I cannot say enough about Kenny Omega either. He got busted up by Jericho and continued to put on a high caliber performance. After pummeling each other into next week, it was Jericho who left the victor and will now take on Hangman Page for the AEW World Title. And speaking of World Title, it was great and pretty surprising to see the excellence of execution Bret Hart show up to show off the new belt. If you can't tell by now, I absolutely loved AEW's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. I felt like it was a pay-per-view for the fans, and I can tell you, I got my money's worth. Now that they've set the bar so high, it's up to them to try to bring their A game again and again. You can always put on an amazing show with one opportunity, but it'll be doing it on a consistent basis that will be the key. Now I've got my tickets already for the show in Jacksonville on July 13th, Fight for the Fallen, and I can't wait to see what AEW brings to the table that night. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for my thoughts on AEW's pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Did you guys watch the pay-per-view, or did you think $50 was just a little too much? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what your favorite part is or what you think needs work. And make sure you subscribe here for Toned In Entertainment for more videos.